I don't know if everyone has caught it, but Candace Owens has been on a tirade lately. And I want to bring up the question what if Candace Owens is the government psyop that has been thrown down our throats? I'm not making an accusation. I'm just asking questions. What if she is the one that is just being the face of this so that it can distort everything, distort everyone's opinions, any genuine speculation about what happened on the day of Charlie Kirk's death? We're going to take a look at this. We're going to put on our even more bigger conspiratorial hats and say, let's look at Candace Owens. Let's turn it back towards her and say, what if she is the one that is out there just spewing a lot of disinformation to mislead everyone? And we're going to look at Piers Morgan. He had a sit down with her yesterday, and he asked her point blank this same thing. Before we dive into it, and at the end, I will give what I believe is going on, but I'm just going to raise some questions as we go from here. But I wanted to bring up, before we dive into this, Elon Musk and Dan Bongino, those two catalysts of Elon Musk leaving the government. I know he was just there for a short while with Doge. Him leaving gave me disheart based on our financial situation as a country. And Dan Bongino, now that he is resigning from the FBI, going back into the private sector, almost like he's like saying that our government, our law enforcement can't be redeemed. It's like those are two huge events of, like, as a country, the United States of America, what does that say for our future? I'm not going to say we're blackpilled, but doesn't look good if those two guys say it's like, I'm throwing in the towel. I give up. It cannot be redeemed within the inside. Something has to happen outside. I just wanted to give that food for thought, and that will kind of feed into what we're going to talk about today. All right, this is where Piers Morgan lays it out and says, everybody, what if you are the one spewing all this disinformation, flooding and poisoning the well? And let's see what Candace has to say.
Candace, it may be that the person in the media spewing bullshit to the public is you.
No, nice try. It's not. It's
Could
you
be.
by saying, why are you asking questions? Don't you worry about Mikey's feelings? Everyone knows what this is. And like I said, because we have the example, the concrete example of after JFK's assassination, the media members quite literally being put on the payroll of the CIA. We have a historical example that we can look at and go, we're not doing that again. Doesn't matter how many times you keep telling the public that I'm spewing bullshit. It is only because there has not been anything that has come out of this investigation that makes any sense that the public is not listening to. I am sorry to say this, Piers, people like you. And what I love about you and I sitting down is that this exact same time last year, you were doing the same weird questioning and making all these things when I said that they were committing a Holocaust against the Gazans, and then you changed your mind.
Actually,
Piers,
this time,
I'll see you next year when you change your mind again, and we have more information about what happened. And you
all right, so there's something there. What we have right now is a whole plethora of disinformation. You want to believe anything, go to the internet. You're going to find something to believe, something new and intriguing. And I know Candace Owens, she has tantalized us to the extreme. All of our conspiratorial hairs have been prickling up, but I think everything just floundered when she gave her description of what happened with Erica Kirk and her sit down there. There was a huge nothing there. Nothing absolutely seems like it's going on. I would just say with Candace Owens, overall, I like what she's doing, and I'm just taking this from the viewpoint of she is opening up the floodgates to every conspiratorial thing that could have happened that day. And if we really stepped back, wouldn't that be the same thing that the government just planted her in there just to spread all this? So that, like, it reminds me of the whole, like, UFO thing. If everybody, it makes people that believe in UFOs kooky and they're crazy, and just then the real events that happened, it just obscures the waters. It obscures the waters. And wouldn't that be exactly what's going on with Candace Owens right here? If we really just step back and we didn't think about, she wanted to dive in and try to find out the truth of the matter. It started off small. She loved her friend, Charlie Kirk. She wanted to get down to the real deal, what actually happened. But where it's went, and has spiraled out of control, and everything has turned out to be really nothing. We're not seeing anything there, and everything's just splattered against the wall, so we don't know what's what.
From you about what you actually think happened. I mean, you've been all over this now ever since Charlie was killed. What do you believe happened to him? Who do you think killed him?
So I can't tell you definitively who pulled the trigger. I'm not going to lie to audiences and just put something out there that's not real. But what I can say is I feel convinced that the feds were involved. I can tell you that. I think the feds were involved in staging a cover-up. I think Kash Patel knows what happened and did not happen on that day. I am convinced by me being told by people that are feds that he is not acting right and that he is not wanting to share any information. Just a couple of people are allowed to even see anything. A Fed told me that they can't even touch the Charlie Kirk file without risk of being fired, and that he's grown increasingly mad. The U.S. Marshals that were there when they were doing the quote-unquote manhunt for 33 hours said that Kash Patel effectively sent them on a wild goose chase, which is what was signaled to the public when he said, "We got him," and it was actually the wrong person. And so it caused people to stop looking because they were convinced that they had the shooter. They felt that that was in order to allow the real perpetrators of the crimes to get away.
But that could just be the fog of...
All right, and I think Piers is going to bring up a very good point right there, is that it is hard to coordinate anything. It's hard to like plan a family dinner if you want to bring in multiple parties, bring in everyone to your dinner or Christmas dinner or whatever it is. It's hard to coordinate that. She has blasted everyone and says thousands and thousands, nations are involved with this day of it going pinpoint perfect accuracy that it actually happened. It's the heist of the century, that this actually happened and everyone got away. When I don't think they've caught the Brown University killer yet, the person that did the mass shooting. But as we can see, our real FBI, our real federal law enforcement, they cannot get to the bottom of anything super quick. And to say that the feds were behind this and they pulled this off perfectly, just it boggles the mind. So her going out and promoting all of this stuff, it doesn't seem like it lines up with anything. And if we really took a step back, we just asked ourselves, well, if none of this is real, and we don't know what the heck is going on, why is that? Why are we more confused today than we were yesterday and the day after the immediate fallout of when Charlie Kirk was killed? Why are we don't have any more clearer answers? And I think we're a lot more confused is because of Candace Owens. Occam's razor, the simplest answer usually turns out to be the correct one. And I would say, like, there's a lot of conspiracies that are out there, but a lot of them, they don't take huge factions and huge portions of the government all getting together and doing this. A lot of it's a small, minute portion that just pulls off something. People that are in the very extreme higher ups, they can pull something off. But to get so many people involved, that's where it stretches credulity. It does not match with what we know and have experienced our life to be. It's hard to get anything to work properly and to everyone to fall in line and perfect things to be pulled off. It would have to be miraculous. It would have to be miraculous. Now, to take a step back, I don't think necessarily that Candace Owens is a government psyop. I think she's grifted onto this and she's going with it and she's running with it. It's getting her a lot of attention, just like everything. And she's accusing everyone. She has a potentiality for a lot of lawsuits that could be coming her way of slandering and just tarnishing so many people's names by the things that she's doing. I don't think she cares. I think there's mixed emotions going on. I don't honestly believe she really believes it. I don't. And Piers asked her that. Do you really believe what you're saying? Or is it more for the financial gain, or for just the attention, for the growing up of your YouTube channel and just blowing up that way? Is that what's going on? And she was not happy about him asking that. And I get that as well. But we can be going for something and doing something for honest, good, truth reasons. But then there's always the incentive, real, like maybe behind it that we're just kind of turning a blind eye to, that is really the motive that is pushing us. But now we've just put a mask over it and we've said that it's to get to the truth. It's to get to the truth. Because if you really wanted to get to the truth, you would be a lot more precise. That's what I'm thinking of. You'd be a lot more precise and a lot more targeted on what your point is and what you think actually happened. You wouldn't just pull everyone. Let's just grab everyone and just pull them in here, and they're a part of this. So, and then leave them for dead. Leave them for dead. So, oh, it didn't turn out to be you. Sorry, I'm sorry about that. I might have ruined your life, but hey, I just had to ask questions. I had to ask questions. That's where I'm at with this. I don't think she's doing it for the most honest, purest motives. I don't know her heart. And I don't want to say it, but it doesn't feel like that. Or she just doesn't know what the heck she's doing, and she's just slandering everybody to hopefully find something. Really, the bottom line of it is that she wants to make a story. She wants to have a drama. She wants to be an investigative journalist, and she is brilliant at. She does very well. She is very good at telling a story. She's very good at saying something that she knows is going to get attention and get eyes. That's where this is all going. It's eyes towards her. But as we can see, when the curtain goes up, behind it all, her pulling the strings and everything, nothing's really there. And what she has said, nothing is really there. And I think it's hurt a lot of people along the way. I'm not too pleased with the way she's gone about it. But if you really wanted to put that conspiratorial hat on, oh, she got the call. Really, she is the plant. That Israel, she's blaming Israel so that Israel is the ones that put her up there to blame her, so it can look just insane. So if you wanted to say, even take it even a fourth dimension back, really, Israel just planted her there. She got the call, and she's the one out there spewing all this disinformation. I don't think Israel had anything to do with it, but if you really wanted to go down that route, that is where you would head, because the way she's gone about it and what she has accomplished with all this has just made everyone scratching their head. I know nothing. I'm checking out. I'm getting out of here. Nothing makes sense. Nothing actually happened. And let's go about our regular life, because we absolutely know nothing. I'm more confused today than I was yesterday. That's where I see it has left us. But to be clear, I don't think she is a government psyop. It seems like it's that would be almost where we would go for this, where we would land on this, with everything that has been after the dust has settled, where we're at. But I don't think she is. I just think she is just hurt a lot of people along the way, and I don't think she's really accomplishing much for good with all of this. But I mean, I guess that's being a conspirator. She is either incredibly right or incredibly wrong about all of this. There's only one of two directions we could go, and it either has to include all of these people, all of these nations, these governments getting together, and the random people that were in on it. Man, we would have to be seriously living in the Truman Show to have everyone in on this. I mean, I could be in on it. No, I'm not going to go there. You could be in on it. You're the person you run into at the grocery store. They could be in on it. We'll find out. All right, we'll leave it at that. Smash the like button. Follow me on X and Instagram @BrandonFogel, and have a great day.